Oh, God.
If I went to the police who regularly ignore rape victims.
Ignore them
If I went to
constantly.
completely, right? It wasn't until like the 80s that there was a law that said if you were raped, you had to have like a witness there to see it happen. Like that's a thing that ever happens. It doesn't happen. So
What the fuck was
imagine
that?
if I went to
I was audio only. What just happened?
Don't get too excited, Lance.
Let's watch the VOD.
Listen, I was desperate to make this more bearable. So they've made an absurd assertion that the police ignore victims regularly.
Yes, because people are thrown in prison all the time for being falsely accused of rape.
I don't know if you guys ever heard of this story.
A lot of times, someone is accused and they're arrested before they're even appropriately,
Before there's evidence.
probably looked at. So
Yeah.
generally, they're just apprehended, on hearsay until it is guilty until proven innocent in a lot of cases. So I don't understand that at all. And also, what the fuck was that audio clip?
Watch the VOD. So you were saying something about a story. You didn't know if
There's
we
a
heard
case of a guy named Brian Banks, and I covered it on my channel. He was a guy in high school who was accused of rape, sexual assault, and he was a high prospect. He was going to be drafted in the NFL. Did 5 years of a 6-year sentence for rape before the Innocence Project tracked down his accuser because he maintained his innocence throughout. The Innocence Project tracked down his accuser and got her to recant and admit it was false. The man did 5 years in prison in, I forget which city it was, but I think it was in California, was awarded over $400,000 and now speaks to this exact point throughout the country about false accusations against men because it is rampant. It is out of control. Men are seldomly believed when they say it's not happened. Look at Zoe Quinn. Homeboy committed suicide in Minecraft, but often so because of an accusation that Zoe Quinn levied against him. It ruined his life. Look at Johnny Depp. Look at a YouTuber named Andy Signor. It is out of control because cops ignore rape victims, which is bullshit. And the fact that they want to equate this to something that happened in the 80s were 40 years ago. We've moved on from that. Now it's listen and believe. Let's
also acknowledge that they're throwing. It wasn't until the 80s, like cops regularly ignore. It's like neither of your claims came from the 80s.
No shit.
Right? Number one.
I think where she's coming from, what she's conflating it with is that she's saying cops ignore them because these are accusations that come later down the line, like way past the quote expiry date or whatever, rather than she said, if I call the cops, they're just going to ignore me. No, if you call the cops like immediately after the assault, they're going to come
fucking
right
beat
down.
a door down.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly.